one thing that I think is an emergent quality for the character in general is that he's being forced to confront the human side of himself, and which is often set in opposition to the more mercenary tendencies that he has.
First of all, guys, the best show on television comes back June 29th, streaming on Max. And I say that from the heart. It is absolutely the best show, top to bottom. I feel like
Succession's coming back June 29th?
Not yet. Not that I know of. But no, man, you guys are legitimately the best show on television. I'm telling you, from top to bottom, the action is top notch. It is next level, but that's only an extension of the writing because it's not overshadowed the writing because this show is phenomenal. One thing it has that I absolutely love is strong women characters. Both you, Dianne and Olivia, you guys are phenomenal. Dianne, I'm going to start with you. Last season, Mai Ling dropped a bombshell on Young Jin, revealing that she and Assam are brother and sister. Talk to me about where we see Mai Ling and Assam's relationship going this season.
I feel like obviously that was to stir the pot a little bit for Young Jun to kind of rock him off of his throne that he's put himself on. And so I feel like throughout the season, it's still very much Mai Ling hoping that Assam, comes to his senses and joins the Long Z. But again, very similar to the first two seasons, the two characters are off on their own paths. And without spoiling anything, I do believe that at the end of this, that's maybe spoiling.
I was going to say, without spoiling things?
The audience will be, hopefully
confused.
Not confused, but there is
angry,
happy ending, potentially.
Hopefully. Yeah. Now, Olivia, I have a question for you because Atoy, we see her relationship with Nelly kind of play out at the end of season 2, and we see it a lot more in season 3. Does Atoy look at Nelly kind of as a way out of Chinatown and finally a chance to lay the sword down?
I think she looks at what Nelly has to offer as a way into what her American dream can possibly look like. I think what Nelly offers her is, a chance at hope, a chance at peace, a chance at a life outside of the violence that she's come to live in Chinatown. So I think where we pick up with Atoy in season 3 and what we see her arc go through is whether or not that dream is something that can really live given the time and the world that we're in, and how she recovers when that hope is dashed.
Now, Hoon, let me say, I love Chow. He's in the business of knowing everybody's business. That must be so fun to play. But talk to me, because he's one of the only characters on the show that really interacts with everybody throughout the season. So in this season 3, there's an unusual pairing between him and Richard Lee. I don't want to go too deep into spoilers, but talk to me about what we see with those two's journey throughout the season.
Yeah, there's very few people in the world that Chow doesn't interact with, which is like my greatest joy in playing him is there's so many opportunities to work with these cast members that I respect and love. Tom happens to be who plays Lee, he happens to be one of my closer friends in the cast. And it's such a unique opportunity because they're set up from the start of the series as sort of opposites in many ways. Like Officer Lee is seen as sort of callow and naive and sort of idealistic in a way, and Chow is jaded and sort of cynical about all these things. And what I think they're drawn together through a specific machination in the plot, and in being paired together, they're sort of forced to confront the utility of the other person's worldview. And I think that one of the things that Lee does for Chow in the same way that he does it for Bill is that he inadvertently, just by leading with his heart, sort of sparks something in Chow in terms of what he remembers of his own perhaps forgotten morality and what he thinks is ultimately the right thing to do in a circumstance that's beyond his control.
I love that you said that because we do see that a lot with Officer Bill and kind of his morality.
That's right.
Almost a redemption arc. Dianne, I want to talk about Mark Dacascos because he joins this season as Kong Pak. What does that mean for Mai Ling, and how does that affect Mai Ling's relationship with Lee Young?
Well, first off, can I just say how big of a fan I am of Mark, and finding out that he was joining the show, I was again floored. Same feeling I had when I heard I would be working with Dustin Wing. I grew up watching Mark, and so he really did end up being just like a dream of a man, like the kindest soul, always wants to talk like art, is the most supportive actor and also person. But in his character, and the question you just asked, I feel like he is a huge threat in for Mai Ling, and how, you know, it's almost like a tug of war, and Li Yang's in the middle. Like, is Mark's character going to come in and kind of sway Li Yang's vision of Mai Ling and almost rock, you know, their relationship, their love, their trust? And then, you know, in the end, Mai Ling has her way.
Nice. Nice.
As she does.
Olivia, last season, there's a really powerful scene between you and Dianne. Atoy was in a really vulnerable spot during the riot. And when Mai Ling was seeking shelter, she went to the brothel. They had a very powerful scene. Can you talk to me about their dynamic in season 3, if they're in season 3 together at all?
I don't want to give any plot spoilers, but I one of my favorite scenes of this season is, I just spoiled it, but like we do have another interaction. It was one of my favorite scenes to film, and I really like it because I think there is an evolution in that we build from when we last saw them in season 2, and there's a respect, and there's a almost, maybe friendship is too strong a word, right, Dianne? I don't know what you think. Maybe it's not a full friendship, but there is sort of an understanding. And I think the closest thing to friendship that can exist between the two women, given their past history and given the proximity that they both have, you know, toward Assam and the rival Tongs and the world of Chinatown.
Hoon, let me ask you this, because I want to talk a little bit about Chow kind of giving up his daughter Hannah last season. How much does that weigh on him, and how much did we see that affect him in season 3?
Chow is somebody who is, in my mind, and you'd really have to confirm with Jonathan and Evan and Josh, is, you know, I drive the character, but they're the stewards of the character. But I would say, in my estimation, one thing that Chow's very, very good at is compartmentalizing his life. I think he's somebody that's had to reinvent himself multiple times in order to survive and in order to thrive. So I don't think that in a pragmatic way, in a sort of tactical way, it's really weighing on him at all. But one thing that I think is an emergent quality for the character in general is that he's being forced to confront the human side of himself, and which is often set in opposition to the more mercenary tendencies that he has.
This show is absolutely incredible. My girlfriend literally saw me watching the end of season 2 and was like, "What are you watching?" And then and then she got caught up into it, and I was like, "No, we got to go back to season 1. You got to start this with me." It's incredible. I can't thank you guys enough for your time. June 29th, the first 3 episodes are going to be streaming on Max. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Joe.
Joe.